In the heart of the Adelaide Hills, where winding trails and rugged landscapes inspire adventure, there's a small but mighty workshop breathing new life into well-worn gear. At Trail Threads, Sue isn't just repairing tents and hiking packs, she's rewriting their stories. Sue's passion for sustainability, craftsmanship and the outdoors has turned Trail Threads into a local hub for repair, reuse and reinvention. Today, we're sitting down with Sue to hear about her journey, how she turned a simple idea into a meaningful, community-driven business, and why she believes every piece of gear deserves a second chance. Let's dive in. Sue, was there ever a moment when you looked around and you saw all this gear and you thought, is this over the top? Like, what am I doing with this much gear?
Yeah. So the gear that sometimes people drop off, particularly because you want to look at it first, you want to inspect it to see whether it is usable, and quite often, especially with the outer flies, if it's a tent and things like that, the material's so perished that you can't use it, but then there'll be a clip on the end and then your mind goes, I can use that clip in something else. So you cut that clip up. Unfortunately, the rest of it you can't use. So you do then begin to hoard.
And so I guess that's the thing. I mean, most people would see, you know, broken material or broken zips or torn tears in tents and think, I'm going to have to throw this out. But you look at it and you're like, no, I can do something with that.
Yes.
Why do you look at it that way?
I think it's also particularly how I've been brought up. From a very young age, my parents were very thrifty and always repairing things, making things, and I think it's just been part of me for all those years, and I'm very grateful that I have been shown how to do those things, and I just don't like to see things going in the bin. Yeah, there'll be a use for it somewhere down the line. Yeah, and I'm lucky also my husband Peter thinks like that as well. So you don't want to look in his shed because that's another whole hoarding story.
I love that you've got his and her sheds.
Yeah, his and her sheds, exactly.
Did you start out thinking you'd just be fixing things, or was there a point in time where you thought, no, actually, I can turn this into something new?
Into a product, yeah. I think it's just something that, you know, I've always known I can fix things, and then, you know, you go to a shop and you look at something, or you're online and you look at something and you go, I actually can make that, and just having the space and a sewing machine. You know, my first sewing machine I was gifted from a friend, and I can make that, so give it a crack, just try and make it.
So if I was to bring you in a ripped up tent, how do you look at that and then see a bike packing bag?
I'm not sure. First off, I'd like to encourage the people to repair that product and reuse it as it was intended. And if they're not interested, or the cost of repairing it sort of outweighs, you know, its market value, then we'll just look at making something else out of it. And that's the other thing is, like, I'm an on-demand maker. I don't have a pile of goods ready to sell. So I only make if someone says, hey, Sue, can you make this for me? You know, otherwise I've got a lot of products sitting around. I'd have a shop full of bags rather than materials. How you turn it into a bag, a good imagination. Yeah.
And what materials are the best to work with?
Oh, I have favourites. I absolutely love working with canvas, and the finer materials, the lightweight materials are good if they're still structurally sound. I love working with leather craft is something that I really enjoy doing as well.
You're not just repairing things, you're making custom made gear.
Yes.
What does it mean to you to be doing this?
It means a lot. It's something I think about constantly as well, and to make something bespoke for someone else, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of sort of working out in my head and visualization of getting my image of it right and their image of it right, and coming together to make sure it suits both of us. But making bespoke things is very rewarding. Yeah, really rewarding.
The outdoor industry is very much, or getting out into the outdoors, people that are interested in it, it's all about connecting with nature and getting outdoors. But there's also another side to the industry with all the gear that gets produced that's very wasteful.
Very wasteful. It is.
How do these two things exist together?
Yeah, I don't know. And the chemicals that are used in making these products, the forever chemicals, thankfully, in America and parts of Europe, they're really focusing on outdoor fabrics now, and a lot of them are going to be banned or in the process of being banned, just because of the forever chemicals that are leaching into all our waterways and things like that. I think if we can set up even gear libraries or equipment libraries, so that people that aren't able to afford to get outside because they don't have shoes or a bag to carry their gear in, if they could just rent or borrow gear as well. I've got a lot of ideas, but I can't do everything, like a outdoor gear op shop. I know there's several interstate, but something like that here in South Australia I think would go really well.
Yeah. I think it would be amazing. I'd love that.
Yeah.
How much do you think the outdoor industry is just clever marketing?
Oh, all of it.
If there was one thing you could change about the way that gear's made these days, what would it be?
Back to small, local makers making more products out of sustainable materials, repairing, teaching people how to keep their gear in use, keeping it clean, maintaining, repairing.
Who are the people that are coming to you? What kind of adventurer chooses to repair instead of buy brand new?
Yeah, schools are really getting on board now with because if they run an outdoor education department, and this, they've got hundreds of students out in the field doing amazing things, and things get torn, zips need replacing. Schools are now going, we're repairing.
Yeah, so what's the most sentimental piece of gear someone's brought in? Something they just couldn't part with?
Well, I think it's just entered the workshop today as we speak. So in front of us here, we have Michelle's bag that was a gift to her from her uni students. And it's got 20 odd years more of sentimental value. Now we're going to upcycle this bag and it's going to be turned into another bag that Michelle's going to take on an upcoming adventure. So keen to get my hands on that. I just love the material, and these bags, being a surf company, they are all mass produced. But we're gonna give this bag some extra attention and some love and set it on another adventure.
Yeah, a new lease on life.
Yeah.
What do you think it says about somebody that comes to you and says, I've got this bag, it's 20 years old, I don't want to throw it away, I want to use it again.
Yeah.
What do you think it says about people who are wanting to recycle?
It says that they really care. It says that they are, living in the moment. They care about, the space and their place and their adventure and the equipment that they use. And I think it just shows connection as a human to place by using this again.
Yeah, I can't wait to follow the journey of this bag.
Same.
So Trailheads is a one-person powerhouse. This is the powerhouse. Do you see it growing, or does it keep, are you wanting to keep it small, or what do you see the future of what you're building here?
Yeah, well, I have some plans. Obviously, most small businesses do. I'd like to keep growth when it happens steady, so that I can sort of still be comfortable working in this space. I'm open to working with other people, to collaborations. I'm very much open into running some workshops, teaching people how to do this as well. Students, there's kids at schools that are disengaged from school, and I'd love to get them involved in making equipment and using that on their journeys and things like that.
So if you could dream big in a perfect world, what would be your ultimate project? to work on?
Whoa. Yeah, ultimate project. Well, I guess I'd love to do a journey with everything that I'm taking with me. I've made everything: backpack, tent, sleeping bag. I've made little prototypes. If I can bring them all together and use it, everything I've made on a journey, that would be the ultimate project. Yeah, I don't think it's too far away.
Yeah, there you go. It's within reach. They're always good goals.
It's within 12 months, I'd say.
Wow, I can't wait. So if someone's watching this and they've never really thought about the impact of their gear before, what's the one thing you'd want them to take away from this?
Look after your gear, maintain it, store it properly, keep it clean. Yeah, and if it needs repairing and you don't know how to do it, come and see Sue at Trail Threads.
That was great. I'm like, how do you obviously you're passionate about it because it just rolls off the tongue.
Does it?
Yeah.